Good morning and happy April Fool's Day. Welcome back from spring break. We hope you had a great spring break. We hope you had a great Easter. And if we can have your attention, we would like to get started so we can finish on time. Thank you. So again, welcome back. Final 9 weeks, hard to believe, here we are. If you are of Polish descent, then I wish you a happy Dingus Day. You know what that is, hopefully, if you're of Polish descent. I learned about it on the radio this morning, I did not. But happy Dingus Day to those who are of Polish descent. We're excited to begin this morning with a program from our Education Enhancement Fund. They do a lot to fund a lot of activities in the district. You'll hear from some teachers today who have benefited from some of their grants. And to get us started, we're going to hear from Ted Hall, who we all know Ted. Ted's a longtime employee or was a longtime employee of the district, and Ted is the president of the Education Enhancement Fund Board of Directors.
Thank you, Dave. Good morning to all of you. I guess I should say welcome back here on this April 1st. Would like to welcome all of you this morning to our North Canton Educational Enhancement Foundation Spring Celebration. As you see in your program, we have 8 presentations for the 2023-24 school year grant projects, and then the presentation of recognition awards for Citizen, Classified, Educator Pre-K to 5, Educator 6 to 12, and the Special Award. It was my honor to serve 35 years in North Canton City Schools, and it's always my honor anytime I have an opportunity to be with all of you in Hoover Hall. To highlight our grant winners and recognize individuals from our community and from our school system. Let's begin our program, and Mallory Rialfi will take it from here. Thank you.
Good morning. This is our Board of Governors up behind me, and it's also listed in your program. So today, first off, we have Michael Seppi. He's going to be talking about his Fishing for Focus grant.
Thank you. Good morning. I just wanted to share briefly a little bit about the Fishing for Focus grant. Now we have some pictures and can talk about it a little bit compared to last year. Our goals were to engage students in learning and encourage attendance. At the end of the year, a lot of our students, as you all know, after they take the OST, they kind of think that they're done for the year. And so we were just looking for ways to encourage them to keep learning and come to school. We wanted to introduce students to fishing and do a cross-curricular unit. It was fun to get the whole community involved. Matt Wolf is a fisheries biologist and had some kids that went through North Canton schools. He came in and he brought a big fish tank from a bunch of fish that he was studying the day before. So he taught the kids about fish identification, handling fish safely, and what a career in biology looks like. In math, we did box plots and data collection. We looked at decimals, absolute value, and just did all of this with kind of a fishing theme. Mrs. Adams did creative writing, so students did fish tales and activities like that. In social studies, Mr. Richardson talked about conservation economics and sustainable fish farms. Ms. Tobin did a density lab, they did worm dissection, and they looked at pond life through a microscope. So we did all these activities and lessons for about a week or two after testing to get them ramped up for the fishing trip. Students were engaged, they had a lot of fun. It was just great to do a lot of hands-on activities. For the evaluation, the students learned, they did well on all the standards that we taught. Attendance was really good, so we were thankful for that. We had a bunch of kids that talked about having more of a passion for the outdoors after the whole project, which was encouraging. And I just wanted to share a couple pictures real quick. So a quick overview, we did for a week or two, we did all the lessons, and then we went down to Price Park for the day to take them fishing. And it was just fun to see, even like this student here, just how they slowly gained confidence. A lot of them had never been fishing before, never caught a fish, and we just had a good time. We had Mayor Wilder helping out, and Mr. Hall, and all kinds of people you'll see in the pictures. Mr. Wendorf came. I can go back if you. It was really a blessing to have all these adults helping, because I anticipated a lot of tangles and issues, and there were a lot. We were busy the entire time. Ms. Schwartz isn't on our team this year, but she was also a really big help. So just a couple pictures, and we just want to thank the Education Enhancement Fund and all the Team 6 white teachers that I signed them up for this before they knew. And then a lot of people, Mr. Halls, Mrs. Mance, Officer Taylor, Mayor Wilder, Mr. Hill. That was another fun surprise. Mayor Wilder and Mr. Hill had the pond stocked like the day before, just to help kind of guarantee some success for these kids. So that was a big blessing. Mrs. McAllister, Mrs. Van Osteren, and Mr. Wolf. So just thanks to all those who helped out.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Angela King, and she's going to be presenting Differentiation for Success Math Toolkits.
Good morning, everybody. So my idea for my differentiated toolkits actually was a culmination of 11 years of working in this district as an aide in both special ed and gen ed. I knew this year going for this grant would be a little different for me because I'm student teaching now, but I started my year still as an aide at the primary building. I student taught at the intermediate. So when I created these kits, I purposely created them for primary level for the first part of the year and for 5th grade for the second part of the year. My goals, though, remained pretty much the same, even though they didn't show up on this slide. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What? Oh, okay. To foster independent, student-led work that can be assessed for proficiency. That was important for me for both grade levels. Provide a multi-sensory learning experience to bridge knowledge. The use of manipulatives was very important for me. It's a proven fact, the evidence-based fact that manipulatives help to make those abstract math concepts more tangible for students. I wanted to promote growth and intrinsic motivation, a foundational love for math that could build as they grew through the schools, and to provide ready-made standards-based kits based on ability and need. Working with students in all levels, differentiation is important for all students to both meet them where they are at and provide that challenge that they would need to get them to the next level. Oh. The clips will come through. Okay. Oh, sorry. So my kindergarten kids, if you've ever worked with kindergartners, you know at the beginning of the year they aren't the most independent. I wanted these kids to foster some independence, so I did give them many choices for their manipulatives. But for kindergarten especially, I worked with 2 specific groups. I pulled one student one-on-one just to, she had more advanced knowledge, so I wanted to see how the kids worked with advanced knowledge. I pulled 2 students to work in a small group that need a little bit more. All the students had a deficiency in fine motor skill, so a lot of my manipulatives and activities worked simultaneously to work on those skills. I had 2 kits for this grade level, yellow kits and green kits. Yellow were for just basic skill. Green was the more advanced. Again, engaging manipulatives were used to help make these tangible. The kids really liked them, and like I said before, fine motor, a lot of small parts. I want to thank right now Emily Lemon for allowing me to poll some of her students before our school day began. It was great because I also pushed in for this specific group to work on math center time, so I could see exactly how they progressed and use some of the skills, and I could remind them from our morning time how to appropriate those skills in their small groups. Here's an example of using counting sticks in one of my groups. It was one of my yellow kits, just a proficient kit to see how this particular student would progress. There she is, she's adorable. I miss these little people. I'm gonna go visit them again. I actually went and visited them once already while I was student teaching, and they automatically saw me and said, "Are you taking me today?" Because they got so used to for me taking them. Here are two more of the students using those manipulatives to see how their numbers increased. I collected data, I color-coded it to match the kits, and I just kept a little running record here with some annotated notes so I could see the level of progression. And I also use these little self-assessments, one at the beginning, one at the end, to see how they did. This is just one of the students. She made some progress, and even her fine motor skills look like they improved. Fifth grade kits were a little bit different because fifth graders are more independent. I worked with specifically special ed kids with these kits. The great thing about my kits I discovered is I could use them to progress monitor. I use them to front load, so to pre-expose them to things that they would learn, and it was a great benefit to them and to me. I saw great progress there. These kit boxes were different. They still use differentiated standard-based activities, but they had self-checking keys because fifth graders can be a little bit more independent. Again, engaging manipulatives were used. Here's an example of one of my kits. A big box, we've used these. Lots of people I'm sure use them, and the picture boxes made it very easy to change the kits out. Here's an example of one of my kits. So this particular student in special ed struggled with coins and coin values, and just the use of the tens really helped her to see that abstract. Another beautiful thing about this particular student is she recognized the progression through the kits, and it really did build that confidence in this student, which is one of the things that I really wanted these kids to do. I wanted them to be self-motivated and more confident. I saw that specifically in this student. So my results, they were successfully used to promote academic growth in math and in kindergarten and fifth grade. Students were intrinsically motivated to progress through the kits. Kits were successfully used in a variety of ways to illustrate the multiple uses of the kits. I also believe, and I will use this wherever I'm at next year as a teacher, I could use this across content areas. I can use it with different levels of students. So it was really exciting for me to be able to use it in two different areas. Next. Thank you to the board.
Thank you. Next up, we have Lindsay Talkington from Hoover High School, and she did the North Canton Closet.
Good morning. As she said, I'm Lindsay Talkington from Hoover. I'm an intervention specialist here at Hoover, and I got the grant idea by touring the program called the Cardinal Closet at Menor High School. I went with one of my fellow colleagues, Rebecca Hackney, and we went last year to, Mr. Householder allowed us to go and tour the program. It was an intervention specialist at Menor who started the program. And it was a store for her community members to attend who were in need of anything such as clothing items, hygiene products, things like that, school supplies for their children in need. And it was just an amazing program. So that's kind of where the idea for the grant came from. We wanted to bring it back to North Canton and start something amazing like that here. So the goals of the North Canton Closet are for my students in particular to practice important job skills as well as daily living skills. That second one is to collaborate with other classes, staff members, and groups to create a better sense of community. And then as well as to provide a clean and organized store for community members who are in need. And just to kind of talk a little bit more about each of these goals, the first one being kind of where I come into play, as well as the other IDMD teachers here at the high school. That's Kayla Fellman, Carla Phelps, and Rebecca Hackney. Our students are all kind of working together to practice those important skills. For my students, that is the main goal after graduation, is to become as independent as they possibly can through daily living skills. So things that we do every day that might not come as easy to everyone else, or to my students in particular. We're always practicing those skills. So with the donations that we received, by the way, thank you all to you guys who did donate. We got a huge influx of clothing items for ages K to 12, which was amazing. We spent our time right before spring break going through those clothing items. My students sorted them by color, then they washed them. I lost track of how many loads of laundry we ended up doing. They put them in the dryer, they folded them afterwards. They helped me take them to Northwood, which is where the store is going to be housed, in a classroom at Northwood. So we actually worked with Scott Campbell to secure that location. We worked with Henry Householder as well, and Kathy Yaros has been an amazing support for us. And she is actually going to kind of be the one who sets up the appointments for the community members once the store is up and running. She has those connections and can kind of get the people who need help, that help that they need. So that's kind of where the goal to the collaboration with other classes as well as other staff members comes into play. Also, a huge shout out to Ashton McKelly and his construction class. They are working with us to put up clothing racks in the store at Northwood, or in the closet, I should say. We're calling it the North Canton Closet as of now. We're taking any suggestions for names because it hasn't been official yet, but that's kind of what we've been calling it. So yes, thank you to Ashton and his students for working to kind of help us set up the store. So that's where the grant money kind of came into play. We used the money for hangers, clothing bins, clothing racks, the things that Ashton will be making for us, just to kind of get the store up and running and off the ground. And then that takes us to goal 3, providing a clean and organized store for community members. We're hoping to have that up and running by August, and my students will actually be working, obviously, until the end of May to get the store cleaned. I have one student in particular who loves to vacuum, so he will be vacuuming, will be dusting, cleaning the actual room where the store will be housed, and then obviously the students will be practicing skills kind of as if it's a work site for them. They'll be organizing the clothing. Once it's out of season, they'll learn to, get rid of those, and we'll donate those to like a Goodwill or Plato's or something like that. And then we'll hopefully continue to get those clothing donations from year to year that they can work each week at kind of organizing and getting them ready for the community members in need. So here's just a few pictures. This is the store that is at Northwood. This is the classroom where the store is going to be. As you can see, it's not obviously completed yet. We're in the early stages of it, but this is just some of the donations, the clothing racks that we purchased, the shelving units, all the hangers we bought for the different types of clothing. And then here are just a few pictures of my students and all the hard work that they put into this project. So you can see the sorting of the clothing. There's Jared. Some of you may know Jared. He did a great job with our laundry. And then here's a couple of my other girls sorting some of the laundry as well. And then just some more pictures of my students folding and sorting the clothing. We estimated about 25 bags of donations were given. Obviously, several loads of laundry done, folding multiple different types of clothing, and working with others was a huge skill also learned by my students as well. Let me see, I think that was it. Jotted down some notes just in case. Yes, but so the main goal for the closet was just to have my students learn those daily living skills all the while helping their community members. So thank you so much for letting this opportunity come to light.
All right, next up we have Vicki Mooney and Sue Camel with the North Canton Signing Town.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Vicki Mooney. Me and Sue Camel, every year we think about, we have to teach the community, especially our first responders, the police, the fire, and the EMS. Every year we talk about it. And finally we decided we're going to write a grant, and so we're very thankful that it worked out to have Signing Town.
Good morning, I'm Susan Campbell. I teach ASL 2 and ASL 3 honors here at Hoover. Our goal for the Signing Town was to make North Canton deaf-friendly. An example of that was I love coffee, and when I go, they would always ask my name. Well, that was kind of a problem because if there was 10 people waiting, 10 different names, I would have to lip read, try to catch it. Could be difficult, could be messing my coffee. So deaf-friendly fact would be what? To give me a number. Put a 2 on my cup, hold up a 2, I can get my coffee easy. So that's more idea of making the town deaf-friendly. Our second goal was to provide our students with the ability to be the experts, to teach the businesses, to teach the fire and police, all the things they needed to know to be deaf-friendly.
So what does a town mean? We created 27 different stations. We took over the commons, basically. And we had a bank, we had the EMS, the fire, the police station. We had restaurants, coffee shops, ice cream, all the important things. So pretty much anything up and down Main Street of North Canton, we got all the businesses. So we sent out flyers in the mail. We went face-to-face. We called them, and they came. So we were very thankful. Thank you, Mayor Wilder. I don't know where you are. Thank you for supporting us and having the first responders here. We were very thankful about that. Every year, we invented a book. We made a book, and it had all the lists of all the signs from all the businesses, and we made a QR code of the signing so that the businesses, if they're bored and they're sitting around with nothing to do, they can watch the videos and learn the different signs. We tried to limit it at about 20 signs per business so that people wouldn't be overwhelmed. We also
wanted to add that we have made these window clings that say deaf-friendly business on there. And the 40 different businesses that came were given these deaf-friendly business clings, so you will see them around town now on their doors or somewhere, which means they came to our event. They know how to be deaf-friendly, so it's exciting to see these pop up around town.
Every station that we did, like a table, had a trifold board. They had a hands-on activity that people could do a manipulative, like a game, a deaf-friendly fact, and also, a paper that they could take with them and learn with the QR code.
things that we accomplished. EMS now can go to an emergency and immediately be able to assign allergies to the deaf patient so they know that they're allergic to something instead of having to wait or make a mistake. Police now can put my license plate into a database and immediately know if I got pulled over that I am a deaf driver without having to have concerns about why I'm not responding. Firemen now arrive at a house and there's a fire. They know how to sign the word deaf to understand if there's a deaf person in the house. So those are exciting things that we are able to accomplish.
We had about 125 local business leaders that came to Signing Town. About 40 different businesses were represented. Triad Deaf Services from Canton came and set up and got to mingle with the hearing community about interpreting services. And we provided the toolkit for all the businesses to bring back to share with, like people didn't, maybe a store, only 3 people came, but they can bring it back to their business and teach and learn all the different employees. Here's some examples of our Signing Town. We had 22 tables that were actual businesses. We had 3 tables that were culture related, deaf culture. And then we had finger spelling table and number table, so that the people could go through all of them and learn so much.
We have 58 ASL students who volunteer their time to come in the evening to teach and be the experts. Our classes developed a list of words that were important for each business, and our students also developed the deaf-friendly facts that were each table.
Oops, sorry. And they wore their ASL Club t-shirts, which they were very proud to be walking around and being the expert for the night. It was a 2-hour come-and-go event on March 14th. Every week, my ASL classes, had a different topic. It could be a restaurant topic, it could be the medical topic, the bank topic, and they learned all the signs and practiced every week, so they were ready for March 14th. It was fun that we got to just mingle. We didn't have to work at the tables. That was really fun. And just watching the kids laughing and playing around with the professionals. I thought that was really cool. They weren't paranoid and all nervous, but they were very happy and sociable, and it was really fun. And also, that's fine. One other thing is our students, ASL, got to interpret between the deaf community who came with the hearing professionals. So, we can't interpret everything, so they got to do that, and it was really nice to see that. The first responders, I tell you, we were kind of nervous. Are people going to come to Signing Town? So around 6 o'clock, when the fire trucks pulled up and the police cars pulled up, we're like, yeah, they're coming. So it was a relief, and it was really exciting to see them come and to be together and to play around with the kids. The kids talked about that a lot, about the police, the fire, the EMS, how fun it was to be with them, and it was really wonderful. The EMS actually asked us, can we come back every month and teach? And we're like, okay, we'll go. We'll send some kids and they can teach more. And then many people have been asking us, are we going to do it every year? It's like, sure, we'll do it every year. We have the supplies.
As a deaf person myself, I can struggle sometimes going to businesses that don't know what deafness is or how to interact with me. So this Signing Town now, people understand, maybe a manager, or someone would meet me and be like, oh, they'll go get their manager or something, and they would be uncomfortable around me. Now, not so much, because they're aware, they know that I'm just like everybody else, just have to communicate a different way. So this is exciting for me to have more comfortability and acknowledgement.
Yes, it is. Another funny thing is we had the 27 tables, and we were thinking, like, let's say the bank people would come, they would go to the bank table and then leave. What we found out was everybody went to all the tables, and they stayed way longer than we ever expected, so it was a very big success and made us very happy about it. And one of the little sneaky things we did was we had a passport where every table got a stamp. And so I think it made people excited, like, let's go get a stamp, go to all the tables, and they did it.
Different pictures of the community.
Yes. So we're going to teach you 6 signs. Can you do it?
Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Coffee. Just like you would grind it, point sign. School. Teacher.
Name. And then you would spell your name, of course. Thank you. And police. Police. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for the endowment grant.
Next up, we have Lindsay Campbell, and she's going to be presenting NCCS Sensory Room.
Good morning. Not as intimidating as I thought it would be, so that's good. When the grant applications started rolling out last year, Katie and I just saw a huge opportunity for our students and a fresh new start for our new building. About 6 years ago, both Orchard Hill and Greentown got the grant from the board to provide sensory items for their respective schools. And obviously, after 6 years, some of those items were just very well loved. And speaking from Greentown, some things got lost or broken. So with our nice, fresh new building, we wanted to be able to provide a way to replace those items that we knew students already really loved. In addition to that, we obviously had this new building, and I believe there's about triple the amount of sensory space in our new building compared to Orchard Hill and Greentown combined. So we obviously needed to be able to stock those items and be able to provide just to the functionality of those spaces. In order to do that, we talked to some different professionals in the building, making sure that our knowledge went to everybody. So we talked to some therapists, OT and PT, and also to some other intervention specialists just to kind of see what did we have inventory of already and what areas could we beef up a little bit more. And I put those kind of questionnaires into 3 different focus areas when we were buying items. And we found that we were missing a lot of light therapy items, heavy lifting items, and tinkering toys. So that's where I put my focus. And I don't know if I missed the memo or I didn't read my email good enough, but I didn't realize light therapy was going to be built into our sensory room spaces. So that was really awesome to come into the building and see some light therapy already. So I focused the light therapy more on if students didn't want to go into the sensory space, they would have bigger areas like the classroom or the CLA space to be able to get those light therapy opportunities. And those are really popular with the students, and I will say they're very calming as well for me too when I need them. Our hope with the sensory rooms obviously was to prevent dysregulation, but we know as teachers a lot of times when we're coming into those spaces, students are already either well on their way to dysregulation or they're already there. And so like I said, having these little nooks in each grade level hallway and the sensory rooms on both levels, Katie and I really wanted to fill those with functional items to aid in the support of getting students back in the classroom. That was our big goal, is getting students what they need, getting them back into the classroom. So we're so thankful to be able to help provide that. We just want to say thanks to the board for seeing our vision, allowing us to create these safe and functional spaces. We don't have everything up quite yet because I'm going to have to bribe Roger and maybe some of our summer staff to help me drill a few holes and hang some things because they definitely don't want me doing that. I will definitely mess up the walls. But yeah, we just want to say thank you again. And if any teachers want to come to any of the spaces and have any extra ideas, we do have a little bit of money left to spend before the end of the year so that we can get some of those things for our students. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.
All right, next up we have Integration Transformation. It's a whole new world once a month from NCCS.
Hi, everybody. First, thank you so much to the Educational Enhancement Fund Committee who allowed us the opportunity to provide some really awesome experiences for our kids. Our plan was to once a month transform our classrooms and create lessons that would relate to different themes that we were working on throughout the year. And it was supposed to be a surprise. Didn't always work out that way, but when you ask for parent donations, that's kind of the way it goes. So that's all right. It was still super exciting for them. Our first one that we did was a Starbucks theme, which is never a bad thing. We had the opportunity to do some book tastings, some cup stacking, creating your own drink from Starbucks, do some density testing for science, and read by a cozy fire during the day. So the kids really enjoyed that. As they came in, and that was part of our goal, was as the kids came in, we really wanted it to be a transformation. We wanted them to feel like it was an immersive experience, like everything was different and exciting. One of our biggest things was student excitement and engagement, and I think we really did accomplish that for the kids. We went from room to room. We mixed the kids up, which is always fun, being able to mix the classes and let them have an experience with different kids instead of the same kids in the same class. You put a lot of pictures in here.
I know I did. Well, the first one we forgot to take, we actually had a classroom transformation on Meet the Teacher Night, and it was Harry Potter themed, and we took 0 pictures, so we have none. So our next one was Candyland, and it was really surprising to see how many of the kids have never played Candyland before, and it was a real fun transformation. They had no idea about this one, so they got to make their way around the game board throughout the day while they became paleontologists with chocolate chip cookies, and they made their own board games and helped Milton Hershey figure out what melted candy bar was which. So again, more pictures. Us teachers got into it as well. I think it was really, my favorite part was seeing their faces as they came in, as well as them seeing our costumes. So that was the excitement, just like Christmas morning, every time they come in. So.
It was, and it sounds silly to say, but when they get to 4th grade, they feel so old and like they've done everything already. And we hear that a lot, like, oh, I did this when I was in, because they have so much life experience. So it's always fun when, even though they've done an activity before, they've done something like that before, they're able to take different things from those activities based on the units that we're using and experiencing. So we had a lot of fun with the Candyland, for sure. Kids created their own board games. They really enjoyed that. And then we just gave them the opportunity to play the actual board game, which is not always easy for 9 and 10-year-olds.
They're very competitive.
Very. But they had a very good time with this one as well. And they had a lot of sugar that day. Lots of parents' donations came in the form of sugar that week. So they really enjoyed that one.
And then we're actually doing a classroom transformation tomorrow, which is the floor is lava. So we will have pictures for that next year if you guys would like to see that. And then our last one that we're going to do in May is vacation mode. So each one of us teachers is going to have a separate country that the kids are going to travel to in each one of our rooms. So again, thank you Endowment Fund for allowing us to have funds to do this. The kids have really enjoyed it all year.
Yes, thank you.
Such a cute idea. All right, next up we have morning meetings, and this is also from NCIS, from Jen Griffin, Terry Simmons, Megan Zahorik, Anna Stangelo, and Denise Cooley.
Good morning. SEL at NCIS is really a two-pronged experience. We have a foundation with our 7 Mindsets curriculum that is delivered by our grade level counselors on a monthly basis. They'll explain a little bit about how those sessions go. And then the second prong, or the second piece, happens in our morning meeting. We have morning meetings in grades 3, 4, and 5. They're the same morning meetings for everyone. And thanks to Christy Cropper, she has put together our morning meetings for us. But she's taken pieces from the 7 Mindsets curriculum and put them into some of the videos for those morning meetings. You'll get to see a piece at the end.
So this is just an example of the 7 Mindsets curriculum that we're using with our students. So we go in and meet with 2 classrooms at a time for 3 days straight. So we hit all the classes in our grade level. And each month we hit a different mindset. So the 7 mindsets are: everything is possible, passion first, we are connected, 100% accountable, attitude of gratitude, live to give, and the time is now. And so the 7 Mindsets curriculum has it all mapped out for us. It has a sample lesson plan that we use, and it always comes with a fun activity for the kids. And then at the end of each month, the counselors will send parents a summary of what we talked about, and then it has like a home link that parents can talk to the kids about, so that we're kind of using that same verbiage at home and at school with these 7 mindsets that successful people have.
Okay, so with the 7 Mindsets, we have a 3-year rollout plan. So this year, all grade levels, 3, 4, and 5, did the Remember and Understand level, which is pretty basic. Next year, the school year of 24-25, 3rd grade will continue with the Remember and Understand, and then 4th and 5th grade will do the Apply and Analyze. And then the 3rd year, year 25-26, 3rd grade will continue to do Remember and Understand, 4th, Apply and Analyze, and 5th grade will do Evaluate and Create. As you probably know, that each of these, it just expands on the mindset, and it utilizes higher thinking skills. Also, in the summer of 2023, 10 of our staff members participated in the 7 Mindset book study. We met 7 times throughout the summer, and we shared ways that we could apply these mindsets to our personal lives, as well as how to implement them and think of creative ways of how to put those into our daily classroom instruction. What we all found was that the mindsets are very universal, and they're very applicable to adults and children alike. We had some really good conversations and some pretty deep discussions, so it was very enjoyable.
So as far as our evaluation, we have some measurable objectives. So 100% of the students will engage with the 7 mindsets. 100% of the grades in 3 to 5 will participate in delivering morning meetings. We're looking to have a 5% reduction in disciplinary referrals by the end of the school year, and also that 95% of the students will demonstrate social-emotional learning awareness and understanding. The way that we measure this final one is through a counseling survey that we do at the beginning of each year, asking the students if they know what social-emotional learning is and how to apply it to their lives, and then of course we'll ask them again at the end of the school year. Some of the measurable outcomes we'll be waiting for the end of the year, such as the disciplinary referrals and the SEL awareness. But currently we have 100% of our grades engaging in the morning meetings, and also 100% engaging with the 7 Mindsets curriculum. And I also did want to thank the school psychologists, Candace McDaniel, Lexi Spradling, and also Lindsay Campbell for helping us deliver the 7 Mindsets curriculum in the library lessons. And also I know that Mrs. Sangelo mentioned Christy Cropper for putting together all the morning meetings. And our next slide, you'll get to see a morning meeting and a screencastify explaining exactly how it goes.
So I think that this is just the part where we hit click, maybe.
To go along with our 7 mindset lessons this year, we rolled out morning meetings. These morning meetings are happening with all of our grade levels, 3, 4, and 5. And you can see here what that morning meeting looks like. On the left-hand side, we are focusing on expectations in our building, incorporating PBIS in that area that we want to work on. In the middle, there's a 3 to 4 minute video that we pull from the 7 Mindset curriculum, along with some other SEL videos to put in there, and then a quote at the bottom. On the right-hand side, the students are sharing out some questions that we've had regarding the video that we have on that morning meeting. If they're having trouble with what to share with one another, we always give them conversation starters in blue. To incorporate some of that feeling connected and that social emotional component of our lessons, we've also included some fun things at the bottom. Puzzle of the day each day, a pull of the day, and then a fun fact of the day. This format is happening 3 days out of the 5 with our morning meetings. And on the other 2 days of our morning meetings, we are incorporating what we call Classroom Circle, where the classroom has a talking piece and they are answering 2 questions of that day. Those questions have to do with getting to know one another, feeling connected, along with that 7 mindset curriculum. They always have the opportunity to pass if they don't feel comfortable sharing. And then on this day, you can also see with our morning meeting, we are learning about our staff. And this day, they have a little challenge to do with the staff member of that day. And then we keep the puzzle of the day, pull of the day, and fun fact of the day. So this is how we are incorporating that 7 mindset and social emotional learning with our morning meetings each day.
So I just want to say thank you to the Endowment Fund for contributing to the 7 Mindsets at North Canton Intermediate School. It is a program that is designed to grow with students. So we actually have the 7 Mindsets also at the middle school and the personal wellness class, and then at the high school as well. So thank you so much.
All right, our next presentation will be delivered also through Screencastify. It's the Peggy McLean Big Idea Grant. This was awarded in fall of 2022, and it was to Heather Dressler. Her idea was connecting students with nature, schoolyard, habitat, garden.
Hey there, I'm going to present on connecting students with nature, schoolyard, habitat, garden. A few of the goals that I had for this project were to facilitate students' connection to the natural world around them, to enhance biodiversity on Hoover High School's campus, and additionally to assist in addressing the endangerment of the eastern monarch butterfly. One of the main lessons or takeaways that I wanted students to have from this project can be embodied by this quote from Sir Walter Baden-Powell, which is to try to leave this world a little better than you found it. As students move forward in life, I wanted them to have this kind of approach to life, this thought process, to look around you and to see what you can do to make whatever situation better. So students were, they did a lot of research. They did a lot of researching the importance of native plants versus non-native plants. They also researched a monarch's habitat as well as the monarch's life cycle. So they knew which plants, which native plants to place in this garden. They also designed the garden, the space that we had. So they started all plants from seeds and grew them in the greenhouse out of recycled materials. They then did a lot of preparation of the soil and the space outside. So they had to go out and did nutrient testing, soil nutrient testing, as well as soil texture testing, preparing the soil for planting, and then finally planting all of the plants. Hoover High School's awesome construction technology students built the benches, which are convertible. They are a regular bench, which convert into a desk so that it's easier for students to use. And then here are some of the organisms spotted in this space. So So there were a couple monarch caterpillars spotted, an eastern tiger swallowtail, many insects, lots of birds, even some deer footprints in this space. Here is a gracious student who volunteered to design and create a showcase to help educate others. So thank you very much, Kennedy, for your awesome job on that. And lastly, students designed signs to educate the public about the space, as well as about the monarch's life cycle and habitat as well. So I would like to thank the Educational Enhancement Fund for helping make this project possible and believing in this space, as well as to keep your eye out in the future as this space will continue to grow. And I hope that more teachers and more people in the community can enjoy it. So thank you.
All right, that concludes the grant portion of ours. Next up, we have Mr. David Eby, and he is going to introduce our Citizen Award.
Hey there.
I get to see all my drive and my tabs. Luckily, I don't have anything too crazy on my tabs. This is actually a small amount of tabs if you ever see my normal computer. Oh, I did forget to announce mini grant applications will be due May 1st, the 1 month from today, and then we'll do another round of big idea grants this fall.
Good morning. During my time in North Canton City Schools, Mayor Wilder has been an ardent supporter of our school district. When I first started at the middle school, Mr. Wilder was chief of police. He helped support our schools through a time in education when safety concerns gravitated towards the forefront of our students, parents, and community. His calm presence and demeanor assisted the educators in our district as we learned to grapple with and train for the unthinkable tragedy that could occur any day. Chief Wilder's leadership empowered our students and staff to be confident in keeping our schools safe. His words were put into action when he regularly went on the 8th grade class trip to Washington, D.C. I know this was always a joy for Chief Wilder to engage with our students and staff on this educational trip. Now, as mayor, Mayor Wilder has been a supporter of our district, and he sees the value that North Canton City Schools brings to his role as the leader of our city. He has helped support our building project that will transform the district and the city for decades to come. Mayor Wilder also always looks for opportunities to engage students in the civic activities of our city. For example, for many years, he has incorporated the 8th grade students into the city's Veterans Day ceremony. This is a true honor for our students to take part in recognizing our veterans. Mayor Wilder has also worked with our staff to integrate learning activities at the city's parks, such as Price Park. Mr. Seppi shared this morning his Fishing for Focus. The new Dogwood Adaptive Playground, which has received awards for its accessibility. And also, as you heard this morning from Mrs. Mooney and Mrs. Camel, the deaf education for our first responders and our business leaders in the community. Mayor Wilder is worthy of this recognition by the Education Enhancement Fund due to his contributions to our school system and support to our staff. He has a great heart for our students and staff and will always make decisions that are in the best interest of our district, community, students, and staff. It is a great honor to recognize Mayor Wilder for this award.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great honor to be here. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations as a police officer, but I feel very comforting with all of you here today, and that makes me feel good. There's so many things. I took some notes as we went along that brought memories back to me. Obviously, Mr. Windorf was overdressed for the fishing event. I don't know if you got the memo, but Mr. Sespe will be on again today. And you know, when you sit here in the front row, I think you need a stepping stool. So if you're under 5 feet 5 inches, we don't get to see you. All I see is your forehead and your glasses. So let's make sure we get a stepping stool for those under 5'5". And of course, in 1979, what was that? Oh, again, Mrs. Campbell. Do I have it right? I just spelled Steve. And let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, of course, the sensory rooms are most helpful and beneficial for our students. And if there's an adult vision or version of Candyland, I'm in, okay? I like that idea. And of course, with the butterfly and monarchs, if you drive down by Glenwood, at Glenwood, all that land over there of those homes that were in the floodplain, those are all for habitat for monarchs and things like that. I want to thank the Board of Governors and the Enhancement Foundation for this very unexpected honor. I was told I have good news and bad news. I only had 5 minutes, but prepared for 10 minutes. So if you'll just bear with me, I'm just going to reminisce of just a few things. As I go back, I always want to thank my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Martin. Honestly, I was a little ornery and mischievous as a boy growing up. Hard to believe, I know. And sometimes you don't encounter students that are like that. But thank goodness for Mrs. Martin, my 5th grade teacher. She saw that I needed a little direction, and she gave me a sense of responsibility. And so she made me in charge of the aquarium. And that was great until I bought chlorine tablets that you put in the pool, and I killed all the fish, you know, overnight. So my dad and I, we went down to the, store, and we got new fish. We cleaned out the tank. But you know what? She said, Stevie, you're going to be okay. And then in 6th grade, Mrs. Elgis, I think, my 6th grade teacher, she knew I was a Boy Scout, and they needed someone to raise the flag at Avondale Elementary School every morning and take it down. And that was giving me a responsibility, and I enjoyed that, and I took that as a great honor to raise the flag up and down at Avondale Elementary School. As we go back in 1992 to 1996, I had the opportunity to serve as our first DARE instructor, Drug Abuse Resistance Education. And I know there's been pros and cons and debate over that all the time. But you know what? It was an opportunity, and I thank the Board of Education at that time to include that as part of the health program. And it was very rewarding. And I think it was in Mrs. Isles' class. I think she was teaching kindergarten back then. And I was teaching the 3 R's. Recognize, refuse, and report. So if you met, someone that was a stranger and you weren't comfortable with them, we were doing the 3 R's. So I had the 3 R's on the chalkboard, and I said, well, what does recognize mean? Officer Wild, it means to know. Recognize means to know. What does it mean when you say report? Well, if you have a trusted adult, could be an older brother, sister, your teacher, a parent, you want to report something if you're approached by somebody that you don't know and you feel uncomfortable about. And I said, okay, now what does refuse mean? Leave it to a redheaded boy in the back, says, Mr. Officer Wilder, that's the stuff that you see along the road and the stuff my mom and dad take out to the garbage every time. I said, that's refuse. Refuse means to say no. So those are little things that you always walk away from when you're in education and things like that. It was important for me to try to have an alternative, teach the kids something that you can do in life, that you don't have to rely on something such as illegal or illegal drugs. And so, believe it to me, I formed 2 trips to Boston Mills, and if any of you remember that, we took about 300 students skiing. And so I want to thank the Board of Education for allowing the bus drivers to have about 7 or 8 buses, and we met over here at the cafeteria, and we had coffee and donuts and OJ, and here we go, 300 kids and parents going up to Boston Mills. For $20, they got ski lessons, got to go skiing, got a lunch, and all that kind of fun stuff. And, you only all you have to do is try, and it worked out pretty good. I remember those trips. And I think maybe part of this award today is for the 8 trips I went to Washington, D.C. with. That was a a lot of fun. And, you know, there's a little trick that I used to do, and I'm going to share my sneaky, somebody used the comment sneaky over here. Seems like my first 2 trips, they gave me all the troubled students. I don't know why. First group was boys, and then I had a group of girls. But what I did was this. I got a gold dollar for each one, and it was a president. And I would give them a gold dollar and just said, keep that in your pocket. Now, you got to remember, back in 92 or whatever it was, we still had phones that you could go to, and not cell phones. But anyways, I just said, keep that in case you need it. And the other thing was this. I gave each student a responsibility. I had a timekeeper, had somebody watching the map, and they always had a backup. So once I gave those kids a responsibility, and after that first day, I said, you're on your own, okay? If we do things together, we'll be okay. And that's really all I did every time I went on those 8th grade trips was give them a gold dollar and give everybody a responsibility, where we're supposed to be, your timekeeper, your map, and away we go. So thanks for letting me reminisce a little bit on that. And more recently, I want to just share that my vow when we had our new schools was to make sure we had a school resource officer in every school. And I hope I've kept that promise for you. I value the men and women that our school resource officers are contributing because I just felt, one, I wanted it. Number 2, I think our schools needed it. I want our community to feel safe, that at least we have a presence in our schools. But they do more than that, okay, than just giving protection. They're there to break down that barrier. And that was my goal when I first started in 1992, was to form positive relationships in our schools through my law enforcement career and beyond. And if I may reminisce one thing, Mrs. Campbell, in 1979, I was a police officer in Brunswick, Maine. And one of the very first crashes I took was with a deaf couple. And here we are 45 years later, and I'm going through a program. But I'm at their kitchen table, and I'm writing notes to them and filling out my crash report. But it just brought back a memory, one of my first crashes as a police officer. At any rate, I want to thank you for this distinct opportunity and to be recognized. And it was very much a surprise, Mr. Eby. I like your haircut. I think we have something more in common than most people know. So with that being said, it's an honor and a pleasure to stand before this distinguished group of educators because when you have the dedication and passion that you have and have that opportunity, it's a gift, and I hope you keep on giving. In conclusion, I'd like to dedicate this award to my parents, Mom and Dad. They were very big on education. They looked at it, it was not so much what they wanted me to be. They were there to support me as to what I wanted to be. Now, granted, my mom wasn't happy with 2 police officer sons, okay? She was a little nervous about that. But I look at that as I reflect back. They weren't telling me what they wanted me to be. They were here to help me be what I wanted to be. And that's how I envision all of you and what you're trying to do. You're helping children be what they want to be. Give them the foundation to have a good life. So thank you very much. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have our classified award for Deanna Yeager, custodian at North Canton Intermediate School, and she's going to be presented by Elizabeth Geckler and Carla Carper.
Good morning and welcome back. Today is a very special day for a very special lady. We are here today to honor Miss Deanna Yeager as one of the EEF Award recipients. When I started my career over 3 decades ago, my mom's advice for me as a former educator was to treat the custodial staff with respect and gratitude because they are the oil that keeps the machine running smoothly. And because she was my mom, she was right. Many of us have had the incredible job to see, many of us have seen the incredible job that Deanna does for our school on a daily basis. She takes immense pride in her work and always goes above and beyond to make sure we all have what we need.
Deanna has undergone some personal difficulties over the last few years, and she's connected with many of us and shared similar experiences. Even though throughout these challenges, she's faced each day with a positive outlook, and she's unmistakably has a wonderful work ethic. And it's obvious that Deanna takes great pride in her work because she makes sure all of her I's are dotted and her T's are crossed. She cares greatly for her work and surroundings and selflessly puts herself before others. Mrs. D'Angelo, we quoted her, and she said, Deanna consistently goes the extra mile. She takes pride in her work and does many behind-the-scenes things to make sure our school runs and shines. She is upbeat and great with students and is one of the hardest workers you'll ever meet.
And to reiterate, to know Miss Deanna is to love Miss Deanna. Aside from being one of the hardest workers I've ever seen, she has a heart of gold. She often inquires about our lives outside of school, which makes us all feel very much like a family. Deanna, I know I speak for the entire NCCS staff when I say thank you. Thank you for your hard work, your friendship, your sports updates, and so much more. And this is kind of corny, but I thought about it. If there was such a thing as like the custodial Olympics, you would get the gold medal. Thank you, Deanna, and congratulations.
Wow. This is humbling and very terrifying at the same time. I hope everyone enjoyed their spring break. The first individual I would like to acknowledge is the man who instilled in me the work ethic that I still have to this day. Thank you, Dad. To my sister Rhonda, who quite a few of you know, she had called me at my full-time job and told me about a position that needed filled. So I accepted, and here I am. To Renee Mance and Ryan Kampf, who believed in my work ethic and hired me into Orchard Hill and Greentown. My nominators, Carla and Elizabeth. You about had me crying, so thank you very much. I will find a way to repay you. To the Board of Governors who deemed me worthy to be the recipient of this award, thank you. To the children and young adults, the reason why we are all here. But finally, to my coworkers. I am truly blessed and privileged to work with so many caring, awesome, generous to a fault, and the most extraordinary educators on the face of this planet. Okay, I'm a little biased, but you know. Again, thank you very much.
Our Pre-K 5 Educator Award will be Jan Bremer. She is going to be presented by Mr. Matt Donaldson.
Well, good morning. It is truly my honor and privilege to stand before you today to present the prestigious North Canton City Schools Educator Award to a remarkable individual, Mrs. Jan Bremer. Mrs. Bremer's career in education is nothing short of extraordinary, spanning over 41 years of dedicated teaching service within the North Canton City Schools. To put that into perspective, including her student years in North Canton City Schools, Jan has spent an incredible 57 years of her life in this district. 57. That's 57 years of passion, commitment, and unwavering dedication. And it's always been my honor and privilege to work with Jan, and so I'd like to share a little personal anecdote about Mrs. Bremer and our journey together. I can stand here and tell you that Mrs. Bremer and I have a tremendous and meaningful relationship that I truly value. But it wasn't always that way. Teaching at Orchard Hill, and she's shaking her head, I see her. Teaching at Orchard Hill for many years in just about every building in the district, at one time during her career, Mrs. Bremer reluctantly joined the Northwood staff and the Northwood team in 2013. And when I say reluctantly, I mean reluctantly. She quite frankly resisted and didn't want to come and fought the decision. And I vividly recall the opening staff meeting for that school year. I had put together this great presentation about the importance of the Northwood family, our school and family values, and how important it was to be there for each other. And as I scanned the room during the presentation, I noticed Jan was emotional and that she was crying. And naturally, I thought to myself, wow, what a powerful message I'm delivering. I brought the audience to tears. Apparently, and as Jan would inform me, it wasn't my words of wisdom that created those tears, but rather her reflection and a deep longing to be with her former school family. She missed her family and didn't want to be with us at Northwood. However, within months, Jan came to me thanking me for having her at Northwood and how much she felt at home in her new home and how much she truly fit in. And truly, Jan not only found her place, but she was flourishing and leaving an indelible mark on our school and our community. And it was something she would continue to do for the next 10 years at Northwood prior to joining the North Canton Intermediate family, or primary family rather. So reflecting on Jan's illustrious career, it's evident that she made a tremendous impact that transcended generations. She made significant contributions to the improvement of the education within our district for over 4 decades. And her positive impact on students has been felt across all grade levels, having taught every grade level from kindergarten through 12th grade and spanning an entire generation of learners. As a PE teacher, Mrs. Bremer didn't just roll out the balls. She was truly a physical education teacher. Mrs. Bremer's commitment to fostering a healthy lifestyle and lifelong lessons has always been evident in the creation of her engaging physical education lessons that include exercise and healthy lifestyle choices. Her lessons have always and continue to be engaging, creative, and fun for the students. Most of the time, the students have no idea the amount of exercise that they just took part in. They just know that they had fun and that it was usually the best part of their school day. Yet what truly sets Jan apart is her selflessness. She is the definition of selfless, and this is evident in so many ways. One way is her dedication of her time spent developing strong relationships with students. Most days, during her personal lunch, Mrs. Bremer can be seen sitting at a cafeteria table at North Canton Primary School, at a cafeteria table eating lunch with a table of her students. She values relationships and she values the time spent with her students, and she's willing to give of her time to do so. Additional demonstrations of Jan's selflessness is her willingness to help others and help any staff member at any time. Jan will always volunteer her time to help. For me personally, I can always count on Jan to help me. Anytime in the last 10 years that I needed to rethink about something organizationally, or I wondered about a school procedure or a routine, I would always go to Jan and simply ask for her opinion and for her help. And she was always willing to give it. And inevitably, she always had a simplistic idea or would simply say, "Mr. Donaldson, don't worry, I got this." And she always did. And she always told me not to worry. She says I worry too much, right, Jan? She always tells me that. For many years, another example of her selflessness is just her willingness to volunteer anywhere within the school. And she has volunteered her time to assist in organizing our school musical behind the scenes, with organizing the kids, making of props, assisting of rehearsals, and behind the scenes behind the stage on performance night. Just continually selfless. What Mrs. Bremer is probably best known is for her homemade birthday and personalized cards. She always makes sure that every staff member gets a card for their birthday or a special occasion. And I've witnessed Jan making rounds to deliver cards to retired staff members, or even to me or my kids at my house. And I recall one year, my wife called me to the window because someone was throwing something in our yard. And I looked out and said, oh, that's just Mrs. Bremer throwing Easter eggs in our yard for our family. She got caught. It's these extra efforts to let people know that they're cared for and that they are special that help to enhance our school culture, and it showcases her commitment to assisting and creating a supportive school environment. Mrs. Bremer truly embodies the very essence of an exemplary educator. Her tireless dedication, far-reaching positive influence, and selfless contributions have undoubtedly enriched our school and district beyond measure. And it is with immense pride and admiration that I get to present her with the North Canton City Schools Special Educational Award. So Jan, I'd like to congratulate you on this well-deserved recognition, and your impact on our school and community is immeasurable. And I am truly privileged to call you not only a colleague, but a friend. Congratulations, Mrs. Bremer. Mrs. Bremer's not too happy with me. She's told me this for a couple weeks now, but she is so incredibly deserving, and this is the part she wasn't looking forward to.
I didn't know I had to have a speech, but since Mr. Wilder took up so much time, mine will be very short. Short.
Keep it short.
Short and simple. Okay. I have the honor to graduate in 1976. My only regret was my tassel was red, white, and blue instead of orange and black. I still hold that against the school. Because it was the bicentennial year, we had to have red, white, and blue tassels and not an orange and black one. Okay, that's my only complaint through my 50-some years. That's it. All right. I am honored to be up here. I don't know if you know this, Mr. Donaldson, but I thought this was the Starbucks Coffee Award that's given once a month.
It's not. It's not.
And then I saw my name, but then I thought back, Mr. Donaldson, I don't know if you're aware of this, because, I haven't told you all my secrets. But 22 years ago, 2002, my father and my mother, my daughter who was 8, and my husband showed up here at the high school for a dinner out here in the back. And I received this award in 2002. I am honored that you still think that I'm a value member of this school district. And I have nothing else to say but thank you to everybody. But I do have one request. If I had your child in school, would you stand up? I had your child in school someplace. Thank you. Okay, have a seat. It gets better. If you taught with me in a building, now, for those at the high school, you may not know this, but 10 years ago, I taught in the high school here. That was not my pleasurable year either, but I got through it. Health class was very difficult for me. All right, so if you taught in this school 10 years ago, or taught at Orchard Hill with me, or teach with me now, can you please stand up? This is your exercise for the day. I taught with you someplace in this school district. Well, that's pretty good. Okay. There's a lot of young people out there.
What about who you taught?
I'm getting to that one. Okay, now, the last one. If I had you as a student in elementary school, don't laugh, watch this. Please stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, thank you for sharing with me. Now, 10 people. All right, it's very hard for me to walk in this building because I know this will be my last time as a staff member, and I'm gonna try to turn around, I'll turn back. Okay, so when your whole life is spent in a school district, now, the man with the fishing program, I don't know where you are, Mike, somebody. Hey, you call me, because I'll come fish with you. I'll be free next year. The closets right up in my neighborhood, the people who are running that closets, you better call me. If you don't know where I live or can't find my number, you could check with this person or just ask any kid that rides on bus 29. Because I ride that bus home quite often. I walk to school and then I hop on the buses and they give me, I got 5 drivers that know exactly where to kind of drop me off so I can walk home. When you retire, you learn to save money, so I've started to try to learn. Oh, I said that word. Okay, I love all of you. You don't know how lucky you are being in this district. I did hear a comment come in this morning, and I thought, wow, I wish I could change that person's mind of what they just said, because y'all don't know how lucky you are. I love you all. I love the administration. Thank you for this.
Next up, we have Mrs. Mia Thomas introducing Sandy Stamba as our 6 to 12 Educator Award.
Well, they obviously saved all the old people for last. I just want to start by saying that when the nomination form came across my email, I thought, Sandy Stamba is so deserving, and I really love her. And I love her enough to speak at a little dinner that they have for the endowment award winners. And then I found out there was this, and I had to reevaluate how much I really love Sandy Stamba, but I truly do. So let me just tell you a little bit about Sandy's career. She's been a teacher in the North Canton City Schools for 35 years, her whole career. This is what she's done. She taught 8 years at Northwood, 1st and 6th grade, on 2 different team configurations. She's taught 27 years at North Canton Middle School, 13 curriculums taught, 6 curriculums developed from the ground up. She's taught every grade level. She's taught core and exploratory courses. She's taught on 9 different team configurations, and she's been the literary magazine advisor for 8 years. And even if she sucked as a teacher, she deserves this award just for sticking around for that long and doing that many different things. However, she far from sucks. It was up to Sandy for a lot of these classes not just to teach them, but to develop curriculum for them. And if you've never developed curriculum, it's a hard job. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of research, it takes a lot of effort. People like me just go on teacher pay teacher. That's how we develop curriculum. But no, not Sandy. She researches. She studies. She does everything that she can to make sure that the curriculum that she develops is the most meaningful, best curriculum to teach her kids what she wants them to know. They'll remember the lessons that Sandy teaches long after they leave her classroom. I always knew Sandy was a workhorse, just from the rumors. But I never really fully understood it until 2 years ago when they put the personal wellness class, which is a 7th grade core class now, into North Canton Middle School, and I got the opportunity to teach right alongside Sandy. Sandy has been the guiding light in the creation of this course that we are really, really proud of. I have just ridden on her coattails. She'll tell you differently, but it's not true. She's the guiding light. She's the one that comes up with all the creative ideas that are meaningful, impactful. She's always willing to listen to our ideas and then somehow work them into the things that she creates just so we have a little part of it. Everything that she does benefits her students. I could go on and on and on and tell you all the wonderful things about Sandy Stanbaugh as a person, as a teacher. Every day she makes me want to work harder, and she inspires me to be better than I can be. Sandy is the kind of teacher that we all want for our children. She's loyal, she's hardworking, she's passionate, and she's driven. I don't know what more you could ask for of a teacher or what could possibly make her more deserving of this award. I am honored to be her coworker, and more importantly, her friend. Congratulations.
I am honored to stand before you today as a recipient of the North Canton Education Endowment Teacher Award. It's truly a privilege to have been nominated by Mia Thomas and to be recognized by the Endowment Board for my contributions to middle-level education in North Canton City Schools. Thank you to all of the North Canton students and families who have been, are, or may yet be a part of my journey. Your willingness to share your perspectives with me is invaluable, because your thoughts and feelings give me meaningful reason to reflect and project. Your willingness to grant me grace when I need it most reminds me that perfection is not an expectation in this profession. And your willingness to nurture our rapport makes all the difference. Not only does it play a key role in student success, but in my teaching success as well. I'm extremely grateful for the partnerships we share. Thank you to all of you, my North Canton colleagues, for your support, collaboration, and camaraderie. Teaching is not a solitary endeavor, so I understand completely that being surrounded by educators who share a common commitment to excellence and innovation in our field has made me and will continue to make me better. Together we navigate the challenges, celebrate the victories, and inspire one another to reach new heights. And along the way, if we're really lucky, we develop the most incredible connections that turn into relationships that life cannot be conceived of without. I am one of those truly lucky people, and my gratitude here is honestly immeasurable. Thank you to the administrators with whom I've worked. I have benefited from each and every opportunity that you have provided me. You've trusted me to educate students in a variety of subjects and grade levels, to envision, develop, and teach curricula that lived only in my mind, and to take risks with no guarantees of the powerful outcomes I claimed they would produce. And via each one, you've allowed me to explore my professional creativity with a very loose cap. And sometimes it felt like no cap at all. Your confidence has given me the freedom to develop my own identity as an educator. I so appreciate that you have embraced me in so many capacities throughout my career in North Canton City Schools. And finally, I'm especially thankful for my husband, my son, and my daughter. Over the years, it's been quite the challenge to be this teacher's family. But fortunately, Don first, then Shannon, and eventually Luca, they all eventually succumbed to the philosophy that for me, yesterday's lesson wasn't nearly good enough. Today's teacher manual plans are far too impersonal, and tomorrow's standards can surely be more effectively delivered. In any given school year, early mornings, late nights, and long weekends were gradually understood as necessary in order for me to meet my own professional expectations and to define myself as fulfilled in my role as an educator. Thank you. Thank you for your love and support for 30 years. Don, Shannon, Luca, your whole lives. I love you. In closing, as I hope my acceptance has made clear, this recognition is not just a testament to my efforts, but it symbolizes a dedication of countless individuals who have collectively, supportively, and lovingly have allowed me to thrive as a classroom teacher. Thank you once again to Mia and the North Canton Endowment Board for honoring my work in our field. I look forward to continuing to inspire and be inspired by the transformative power of education. Thank you.
Next up, there is a special award today for Margaret Courier, and she is going to be presented by Julie Crawford.
Good morning, everyone. I have the honor of recognizing and presenting to you this year's special award winner, Margie Courier. She is one of our payroll and benefits administrators, and many of you know her through questions that you've inquired, whether it be needing assistance with removing someone or adding someone to your insurance, asking for a W-2. She has many, many different roles as one of our payroll and benefits administrators. Her contributions to the improvement of education are evident in the many ways she supports all of us. You may not know about Margie in the ways that she has supported us in our ever-changing environment. Within the last year, Margie led our district through the adoption of the records application. And by lead, I mean she led us through. She created all of the testing documentation. She created the workflow outlines. And when I say workflows, I'm talking about all those paper trails that would go from you to your principal to the administrators back to you for signature before anything ever made it to the Treasury for payment. In addition to that, she created the documentation to support us going from a paper personnel record database to an electronic one. So all of the new hires receive that email with a task associated, many tasks when it comes to coming on board to the district. Additionally, address changes, name changes, phone number changes, all of those wonderful paper trails have turned into an electronic signature, and it's all kept in a database. Through all of the testing and documentation writing, Margie met with the district staff, administrators, some of you, to make sure that what was being created supports you. And just to speak from my heart, she's a total team player. She will help you with a spreadsheet formula. She's excellent at it, and she will help you in any way possible. So on behalf of the district office secretaries, Donna, Dina, Kathy, and myself, thank you so much, Margie, for all you do.
Good morning, everyone. I would especially like to thank the Board of Directors of the Education Enhancement Fund, the nominating committee, Dina, Donna, Kathy, and Julie. This is a great special honor for me. Most of you may not know me. You may know an email from me. You may know something that I sent out to you, but a lot of you do know me, do know my phone number, do know my email address, and I interact with you on a daily basis. I hope that I have been a help to you. I hope that what I do helps you to do what you do. Sorry, breaking up here. They told me before I did not have to do a speech, but here I am. Thank you to all of you. North Canton City Schools feels like a family to me, and I'm part of that family. And whatever you need it, please contact me. I will help you, or I will direct you to the right person. So, thank you very much. Thank you all.